Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages, we are live with X-Ring.
And is your six covered? Guys, hope you're having a great week. What we're going to do is do a Q&A session. Let's see, Todd's in here. Honestly, how can you give 3 thumbs down and the show hasn't even started yet? Yeah, there's 3 people that don't like me, and they always go thumbs down. I don't know what it is, Todd, but oh well.
Showing their love.
Haters will be haters. So what we wanted to talk about today was a Q&A session on what to look for in a precision rifle. And what got us thinking about this is there are a lot of considerations that if someone is wanting to get into the game that they really need to think about, or maybe they buy something and they're like, well, I didn't even realize that was an option. So these are some things we want to talk about and discuss. So we look forward to hearing from you guys. All right.
The things we can't touch back here, basically you got a Masterpiece arms in the back, 6.5 Creedmoor. You got the AI up front right here, and I can't touch it. That's in 6 Creedmoor. And then over there, the camouflage one is the Tika, and that is in 6.5 Creedmoor as well.
What's up, Jake and Spy Stamia?
What's up, Spy?
Rick, Luke, Bism,
How you guys doing?
CRT. What's up, guys? Okay, so we were doing a review today, and I started thinking about it can be overwhelming if you're looking for your first purchase. Okay, what is Arca-Swiss? What does all of that mean? What does it do for you as a precision rifle shooter?
Barricade stops and blah blah.
Yeah,
blah.
barricade stops, everything else. Casey Duncan, what's up, man? How you doing?
What's up, Casey?
Said nice timing.
What's up, Doug?
All right, so guys, let's talk about some things first. So let's just completely knock out price point and what the rifle is going to cost, because there's a lot of options out there now, and these are things you really need to consider before you make that purchase. And what got us on this topic was I've been getting a lot of emails. Rick has been getting a lot of emails about what about a Masterpiece Arms? What about a Tika? What about a Ruger RPR? What's up, Mark T? So that got me thinking about doing this and talking about it.
John Kreiderman.
What's up, Mr. Kreiderman?
How you doing, my friend?
All right. So a lot of comments rolling in, but we'll go ahead and get started.
Don't touch them.
Yeah, I'm not going to touch them because we can't because of the restrictions on YouTube.
We can do this part.
So we'll just try to start up at the top and work our way down. Arca-Swiss. What is Arca-Swiss, Rick?
Arca-Swiss is basically at the bottom of the chassis.
Yeah.
Is the ability to run. Well, there's different options.
Yeah.
But you can run a tripod. You utilize it with the tripod. You can utilize it as a barricade stop that's right there. Can we even touch the barricade stop? I don't know all these rules, but
okay. So let's talk about this. So instead of worrying about what Arca-Swiss or what it does, I want you to relate it to a Picatinny rail. Okay. All right. We'll see you, Todd.
I can grab this one right here.
All right. So this is a Picatinny. You guys all know what this is. It's a standard Picatinny mount. Goes on the bottom of a rail. Now, if you look at the width of this is an Arca-Swiss rail, and you'll notice it is much wider here. Arca-Swiss is something that was very popular in photography, still is very popular in photography, but it gives it more bearing surface instead of just a little mount like that. Now, looking at these rifles, I remember we can't touch them because we're in a live chat. The Accuracy International did not come with any type of Swiss attachment, any Arca-Swiss whatsoever.
Or the Tika.
Or the Tika. However, you can purchase options like for the Tika. You can buy an Arca-Swiss rail. It's a really flat, wide rail that goes on the bottom. Or in the case of the Accuracy International,
he's not touching it.
I'm not touching it. Hold this for a second. If you look at the black thing on the bottom of the Arca-Swiss, or the bottom of the Accuracy International, that is an Arca-Swiss attachment. And specifically, that is for a tripod. Really Right Stuff and a couple of other tripod manufacturers. Yeah, there you go. It looks like a camera mount. That's exactly right.
Yeah.
And so what they do is they make this option to fit in there. Now in the back here, I'm going to go over here so you guys can see it. This is a Masterpiece Arms, the black one, okay? And at the very bottom of it, it has a length of Arca-Swiss that runs the entire length of the chassis itself. You'll also see this on MDT chassis. Just gives you a lot of versatility. So that's what Arca-Swiss is. And what's nice about Arca-Swiss is if I had this on the Masterpiece Arms, right now the bipod is attached via a little spigot Picatinny.
Spigot.
If I have,
yeah, Tim Davis is right. Area 419 for the wing.
Yeah, so this is the Area 419. It has the barricade stop on the front of it. It has the Arca-Swiss. But if I have plenty of table, I can have it out here. But let's say there's a stage or a shooting position. They like to use barrels for some reason. Okay.
Oh, you know what? We could have used that all day today, or the other day, on that bench we have.
Yeah, because
Remember
it's
we had to
shorter.
bring them back? Yeah.
So let's say they give you a 55-gallon drum to shoot off of. A standard bipod is really hard to fit up there and actually get support. But with this, you can actually twist it, slide it, and then now you have a bipod that's right here just in front of you. When you're tracking, it also makes it a whole lot easier when you have something closer than out here when you're trying to pan or track on a target.
Luke wants to know about the Thunder Beast suppressors. You're actually, I think you can see it right there, and then there's one over there as well. The for a precision rifle and keeping zeros and all that stuff.
Yeah, it's going to be hard to beat a Thunder Beast. Like I said, those guys are out of Wyoming. They have the Ultra 7, which is crazy popular. But that's kind of getting away from the Q&A session. So, I mean, it is, but we're talking about rifles in general and what you need to look for. Because in my mind, I had an idea of the way I wanted this chat to go, and I'll let you guys kind of direct it. But
What does
this specific Masterpiece Arms runs about $3,500. Now, that's a custom builder. You know, they have ready-to-go rifles, but that one has a TAC 30 Stiller action. And if you wanted, let's say, a Curtis, you know, like an Axiom action or something like that, you can pay for that. Now, you say, well, what's the difference in actions?
What's up, Ramsey?
Well, all
I'll
three
tell
of
you
these
what's
rifles,
up with actions. They're all different right now.
yeah, all three of these rifles have different throws, okay? So if you think about it, we're going to pretend this is one of the bolts. When you go to rack, okay, 90 degree is a true 90 degrees of throw. And that's exactly what that MPA has.
And don't look like you're touching it, because
And I'm not touching it. Now the MPA with that action, I have to, when I'm shooting it, I have to reach up here, throw it 90 degrees,
4 1/4,
which is equivalent to no, it was 3.5 inches of throw.
Nope.
And you're like, is it not? Is it 4 1/4? It's 4 1/4. So it had if you measured it from the bottom and do your throw, it's 4 1/4 inches of throw.
Here.
The Tika is a 70-degree throw.
That's 2 3/4
inches. It measures 2 3/4 inches. And you're like, well, that's no big deal. It's a little bit more. Well, when you go to work it for speed, I'm talking about 90 and 70, it makes a huge difference when you're having to reach up there. The more throw it has, the closer your knuckle and your hand's going to get to your optic as well.
Yeah, I was going to say.
The Tika has the Tika is a 70, and I believe the accuracy is a 60 degree. Either way, its throw only measures 2 1/4 inches. Now, that's something to consider if you are trying to get into some type of sport like PRS, where it's all about speed, where you're trying to hit speed, working that bolt. I'm much slower on the MPA with that action.
It felt awkward from what I normally shoot, shooting the MPA. Great rifle. I'd love to have one myself, but it just felt a lot different. It felt like you were way up here in the optic. What's up, Stephen B?
Yeah, Stephen B says he just picked up a Bog Death Grip carbon fiber. Actually, I saw those at Sportsman's Warehouse the other day, and the price was actually really good, but they had them in the store on the floor, carbon fiber legs and everything else, and it is a lot more cost-effective solution than spending, you know, $1,300, $1,400 on a really right stuff tripod. What's up, Ramsey Country? All right, so Terry Williams, you have a Ruger American Predator. Funny story about that. We actually shot one of those today in 6.5 Creedmoor in a hunting configuration.
Yep.
In 6.5 Creedmoor. We zeroed it at 100 yards. We immediately took it out to 731 yards and made impacts on target.
Small targets too.
It had a Burris 3 Eliminator scope on it, and it was kind of amazing how well that actually worked.
Yeah.
All right, so let me go.
Should a rifle go bang when you
Yeah, it should absolutely go bang when you pull the trigger, Jackson.
Matthew. Oh, Matthew McCall.
Okay, so DP asks in 6.5 Creedmoor, why do you recommend the 147 over the 140? I don't know if I've ever recommended it, but that's what I choose. I know the biggest majority of guys will shoot 140 grain. It's just for me, I do have access to occasionally go out, to a mile and whatnot, and I'm just going to be able to do a little better as far as not getting into that transonic range or subsonic range, shooting the 147s over the 140s.
Yeah, Bad Billy says it bucks the wind a little better.
Correct. All right, Sheball Sicky. He
What's
just
up, Sheball
purchased an
Sicky?
AIAX 6.5 Creedmoor on
Yeah.
Gunbroker.
Nice.
Congratulations. You're going to be really happy with that setup.
Yes, you are.
All right, let me catch up here.
Awesome, man. Congratulations on that purchase.
Okay, so Conservative Sniper Hunter has a good question. Do the Arca-Swiss type rails lock up good, or do they slide if you bump them hard? If you use this in conjunction with the Area 419 Arca-Swiss rail, all you have to do is a little bit of tension because there are little indents in here. So it actually kind of clicks back and forth. Now, if you put this on the bottom of the MPA, if you don't tighten this, it can slide rearwards under recoil. However, you have a lot more clamping force with this, so I haven't seen any issues with that. Ramsey Country says he loves his bighorn actions. I love those as well. They're great, great actions.
Like you said today when I was out.
Okay, so I watched that, had a question the other day on the chat about getting his target clear at 600 yards. Told him how to set everything up. So if it's not getting clear for you, it could be the glass. I don't know, but if you're doing everything properly like we had discussed, then it might be the glass. Okay, so Conservative Sniper Hunter, we used the Ruger Precision. No, we didn't use the Ruger Precision. We used the Ruger American Predator and then the Ruger American Hunter.
Yeah.
And we were shooting the 147s and 140 Hornady ELD match.
Shallow's still planning. Oh.
Yeah.
Making me feel good about this Ruger purchase. Man, they're great.
All right.
Great rifles. I mean, great. Actually, Casey, who's in here right now, he went straight out to first shot.
First shot
Yep.
at 731 or 32 yards.
Straight lock.
He actually smoked both of us, okay?
He did.
He got down on his rifle. I went first. We had wind. Mirage was really bad. The Mirage started going away. Not making excuses. He outshot us. I missed my first, second, third shot. Rick missed his first, second, third.
Yeah.
And then Casey goes down there. He dials it up on that $1,000 package and showed every one of these up.
Yep, he did.
He did.
No questions. Just listen. What's up, one me?
Okay, so Tim Davis says he has an on his MDT chassis, he has an integrated Arca-Swiss rail, which I know they're popular for, and he hasn't had any issues with it.
I've seen his rifle.
Mark, mountain bike rider from Cincinnati. I do appreciate it.
Mountain rider.
Matthew, he's out there planting corn right now.
Yes, he is.
Yeah, appreciate you letting us come out there today.
That's what I thought, and then Casey said he's still on the tractor, but he's doing that and tractoring.
Yeah, so John Crodman, yes, it was the very first time. Well, no, remember, we did a review of that, but he had his dope being data on previous engagement, and he was able to just ring that 12-inch steel right off the bat.
Yeah, it was like Shiloh. He had said, so Casey shoots. I'm sitting over just kind of over in the corner. Shiloh's behind the spot and scope. He fires. Casey fires. Shiloh says, impact. And I said, bull crap. I'm thinking to myself, and all of a sudden,
ding,
ding. I was like, damn, sucker got it.
Yeah, so we talked about bolt throw. We talked about Arca-Swiss. One of the other things I want to talk about is maybe hand size, okay? I don't know what everyone's hand size is. It really doesn't matter to me, but you've got to make sure your rifle fits your hand. All three of these are completely different. Okay, if you measure from the back of basically the back of the grip to the bolt itself, the AI came in at like 2 1/4. The Tika came in at 3 1/2.
3 inches. And then the Master of Peace Arms came in at 3 1/2.
Yeah, we also weighed these rifles as well. The Tika came in, it's a 24-inch barrel. It came in at 16 pounds. The Masterpiece Arms with a 26-inch barrel came in at 18, and the AI came in right at 20. It was like
fatty over here.
Yeah, big fatty, heavy duty. So, consider all of those things. I know for $2,000, Someone asked the question, what's a good rifle to get for $2,000? I know that Tikka right there you can get for less than $2,000, so that would be a very, very good option. There are some other manufacturers that kind of cater to the PRS game. They keep their MSRP and price point down below $2,000 as well.
Because that MPA is going to put you in open, right? Because it's at 3,500, no optic, no nothing.
Correct.
MSRP. So this would be in a different category than that one up there, unless you put some crazy glass on it or something.
So Eagle Eye got Ken in here, man, awesome. He says this is a good chat, and I do appreciate it. I watched that. Says, do you think Streetlock Pro is that much better than Streetlock? I don't know. I went ahead and just got Streetlock Pro when it was available. I didn't mess with the free one. It was $11.99, and I'm telling you, you can just ask Casey. All of his data is in there that he needs to be able to engage most of those targets. Now, remember, he's coming from a hunting background, but come on.
Kicked ass.
Yeah, he did. He made us look bad. It was funny.
What's up, Matt?
All right, let's see here. Dustin Christopher, let me read this one. What's up, guys? I'm buying a Tikka T3 TAC A1. I'm thinking of getting a Vortex Strike Eagle 5 to 25. Do you have any opinion on it, or have you not seen them? Any of the Vortex? Okay, so if you didn't watch, Casey actually has a $300 Vortex scope on his rifle. It tracks well. I think he has the Viper PST, and I can't say anything bad about them. I mean, they work well.
If I could change anything on that scope for the price of $299, it would just be the reticle. Like itself, if you could get a different reticle for it. But his setup is perfectly awesome for what he wants to do, and that's hunting.
Yeah, I'm going to have to agree with Ramsey here. Just go ahead and spend the $12. Hold on for just a second. Yeah. Streetlock Pro is just awesome. It really is. Now, we do have Kestrels. I've been using Kestrels.
What's going on, TB?
TB, I do appreciate it. Thank you. But the Kestrels are nice, but if you're just trying to quickly put someone's information in, just like I did with the Ruger American Predator today, it does make it nice because you're not having it in the Kestrel app.
Those things shot very well. The recoil is a little because they are a little lighter, but they shot great. If I had to hike mountains all day long looking for a deer or whatever I'm hunting, I would definitely want to carry one of those over that.
Okay, so I have a question about the Howa, and I'm going to be careful before I answer this because I do have an opportunity to review a Howa 1500 in 6.5 Creedmoor. Before Casey had or purchased the Ruger American Hunter, he had a Howa, and it was nothing but problems for him. He actually went through 3 of them. He's on the chat right now. Yep. And he actually called me one day. He's like, man, I just cannot get this thing to work. Guys, I tried everything. I decoppered the barrel. We put a new scope on it. And the best we could get that rifle to group was about 3 inches or worse. Now, that could have been specific to that rifle itself. However, I'm hoping I get this new one in to be able to check it out and see how it does. It has nothing to do with the PRS chassis gun, but it is a Howa, so we'll see how it does.
Thanks, Bill, for a great comment.
All right, so I'm going to keep catching up here. Oh, man. Thanks, Steve Wall. I appreciate it. One me says he has a day off tomorrow.
Yeah, mental health day. No, he's one of those.
Yeah, Idaho Rogers, the loophole, if you're talking about the Mark V, I'm not familiar with the HD5 and the VX3, the variable power 3i yesterday. Very nice, but left confused. Yeah, it can be a little overwhelming, but let's continue on with rifles because, like I said, all of this is going to matter. It also depends on your application. And so let's talk about chassis configurability, what you're getting, how it's going to be able to fit you. Okay, so Rick's a little shorter than I am. I'm a little taller than him, but we're shorter than Ken. So these are things where your length of pull is going to be pretty important. Your cheek riser is going to be important. So like Bryson's rifle over here, the MPA, the way that it's set up, it does not fit myself or Rick. No. The cheek riser actually hits you right here on the face in order for you to be able to see through it. Bryson's got a larger head, I guess.
Look at that cranium on that kid.
Yeah.
We do have a video of that.
Nope, we don't have one of the RPR. We do not. Hey, not short if it was in the 1800s. There you go. Everyone's gotten taller. Michael, I have had a chance to mess around with the Q. It's a very nice platform. I haven't had a chance to review one, but I've had some time behind that gun, and it's pretty nice. And Q is accompanied by, I think, Kevin Bringingham, who was the original developer, owner of AAC, Advanced Armament Corporation, with their suppressors. So getting back to this, make sure that you can adjust your rifle to fit you, because it's very important. Trying to get something to work that doesn't fit your body type is going to be a big issue. Even in the Ruger American, the Hunter of Casey's, he could put in a lot of butt pad spacers to increase that length of pull, but today we had to reconfigure everything on the scope. I think you can get adjustable or different cheek pieces for the Magpul stock for different rises for your cheek rest, but all of that's very, very important for setup. All right. I don't know why it's blurry. We've got everything off. You talk to him for just a minute. Let me check upstairs.
All right. So Tim Davis is saying the Straylock Pro, you have the option of putting in the wind speed, temp pressure, and humidity through the dongle. I've never utilized that actually through Straylock. I'm running the Kestrel, but the good information to know. Let's find out how much it costs for the dongle to give you all that information. What's up, Otter? Is it just me, or but you guys look very blurry? Yeah, I don't know why. We talked about this today. Matter of fact, why the Wi-Fi just sucks so bad. Have you had time behind the Barrett MRAD? I have not. I think Ray might have. Well, we'll go back to the questions I can't help you guys with. Let's see, what did he say here? 50 BMG off the bench or prone. Conservative sniper hunter. How you doing? Seems like your stream is being throttled. It very well could be. It could be these little items in the back. Seems like every time we show a suppressor, the internet just goes to crud in a handbasket. So there'll be a few videos coming out, pretty soon. Did some shooting today with these things, and on Ray's channel, obviously, and the Ruger American, and then the MPA as well, the Masterpiece Arms. This thing shot really, really well. We fought some wind in the morning, and as the day started getting later at night, winds calmed down a little bit, and that thing, 2 for 2 on that at 731 yards. Ray did 1 for 2, so I actually beat Ray today. Casey can back me up on that 3 times today. So I was shooting pretty well today. Let's see, prone all day, every day for me. Ramsey Country, great point. You can get probably your best groups you'll ever get going prone, unless you have some type of disability where you really can't lay on your back or on your stomach for a while. And there's ways to get around that where you kind of bend the one knee over. So there's that. But you will get your best groups usually prone. Now we got Ray back in the house. So
yeah, there was a turn off all the internet. There was nothing on, so I don't know why it's getting choppy at times.
I told him it's because the suppressors are.
Yeah, probably.
See, I'm running Diamondback Tactical. Man, these things go fast.
Okay, so Steve Wall, question about the GA Precision custom rifles. A lot of people think it's Georgia Precision, but it's not. It's GA Precision. I've actually owned 2 of those, and one was, I believe, an Eric Reed built rifle who used to build the rifles for the FBI HRT. They do some really nice work. The problem is you're usually going to have to wait on some of the rifles. Every once in a while, they'll have one in stock, or you can go, they're ready to purchase rifles, but the ones I had were great, loved them, and ended up selling them for more than what I purchased them for, believe it or not. So I have nothing bad to say about GA Precision. Loved those rifles.
You're gone. What'd you do?
So Brandon Melton asks, what's your opinion on Savage rifles? Believe it or not, I've had no issues with Savages. I've shot a lot of, they used to call them the one piece.
Okay.
Sorry, guys. Had one value. I think that They have some nice ones out there. I haven't had one so far that wasn't a shooter, but I don't own any but they're Savages right now other than 22s. Oh, come on, what is going on the internet?
I don't know.
Okay, so hear me, hopefully so. Will not let me hit on the comments. Luke says, why are precision barrels only good for low round count? Seemed like Ray mentioned not too far over 1,000. That is caliber specific, Luke. Okay, so I am shooting a 6mm Creedmoor. 6mm Creedmoor is a barrel burner, kind of like a 243. So it's not that all precision rifles are, it just depends on the caliber that you are shooting. All right, so
the time's still ticking. I believe we're still live. Wow, buffering a lot.
all right, sorry.
The picture is better.
Oh, here we go. It's
Stutter.
caught up.
Okay.
Feed the hamster. Internet keeps dropping out. Dang, my bad, guys.
Well, it's one squirrel.
Yeah.
We haven't found 2 squirrels yet. Catch y'all later, somebody. There we go.
Okay, so I'm about to shoot my 6. Oh, good. Faxon barrel. Any thoughts? I've actually been to the Faxon facility, talked to those guys. They do a good barrel. I don't know how much of a precision barrel it is. They do make a good barrel for the money. I know I've had some Faxon barrels in the past as well. They used to be one of the barrels available on the Cobalt Kinetics.
As many lights as we have on right now. Why is it so dark?
Can disable video and allow sound.
Oh, check your.
Give me just a second, guys. Let me try to fix this.
Go there. Right. Nope, that ain't it. Don't listen. Go back.
Okay. Hold on, guys.
Where's the one? Try general. There's one that'll show you, like, we must already be on it. There it is. Try that. Try going down. Oh, you went way down. That's good. This might help.
All right, this might help. I turned the resolution all the way down as low as it could go.
You drinking rum, Bill?
Seems like you say certain words when you start having problems.
This is actually sweet tea. Yeah, it seems like. I think it is.
All right, I'm hoping the video is a little better now.
We shall find out.
Okay,
Oh, thumbs
Eagle
up.
Eye says thumbs up. Let me catch up on some of these. Yeah, so once again, I watched that. Says his 6mm 284 only got 750 rounds out of it. So when you get into these small high velocity rounds like 22 250, 6mm Creedmoor, all these other ones, that's when you're going to start burning up these barrels. You can expect, depending on rate of fire, like a 6.5 Creedmoor, you're going to get 2,500, maybe 3,000 plus rounds. But I mean, if you're one of those guys that loads up a mag of 10 and another mag of 10 and you're just banging through it in 30 seconds, you're going to decrease your barrel life. I'm trying to catch up on messages. Hold on for just a minute. All right. Okay, so Dustin, I do want to address this because I have a gentleman that's been emailing me that got the Strike Eagle and he bought it because it's less expensive. And he actually emailed me last night and today and he said, look, I've never been a scope snob, but I'm a little dissatisfied with the quality of the glass. And he said he is going to upgrade and wanted to know what he could get in that, $700 to $1,000 price range. So things to consider. I'd go ahead and spend the extra money on the better glass because in the long run, I think you will be happier. Let me catch up.
We'll staying around 29.50.
Okay, so Luke, have I shot a Barrett MRAD yet? Yes, I have. I actually won one. I won a competition, and that was part of my prize. It was a very nice prize, but I also had it in the multi-caliber. I had the 338, it had the 308, different barrel configurations.
And
It was okay. It was really heavy, but it was okay rifle. Yeah, Pontius Pilot says keeping it under 3,000 is basically going to help barrel life. You know, and I'm going a little higher than that, so I don't know how long that's gonna.
You're gonna find out soon.
Yeah, Ramsey Country says I watched that. What kind of time period between shots? Fast firing will greatly decrease that. Yes. Okay, so Ben, so I'm getting a lot of questions about the Barrett MRAD, and you know, comparing that to an AI. You know, there's someone that I know personally that has had a lot of time behind the MRAD as well as myself, and I mean they're okay. I mean they're good. You've got the barrel interchangeability. They are very heavy, but so is an AI. AI is heavy. Um, I don't know. After owning both, I'm going to have to say the AI. Just for me, the AI. I know it's not an American-made company, and that could be a big factor for a lot of guys. You know, Barrett's made in the USA, whereas AI is going to be made in England. Um, yeah, I mean, it's tough.
19.5 pounds of love right there.
Yeah. My Barrett was heavy. I'm not really doing anything with 160 with 6.5 Creedmoor right now. Right now, it's just the 6mm. I've never messed with anything that heavy. The heaviest round that I've shot in the 6.5 Creedmoor was the Hornady A-tips, and they are 153 grain, and it shot well.
What's up, Channel Cat Chaser?
Yeah, so Grand Thumb, I was very familiar that he had put out that video on the Barrett, and it's a good video. It's something out of the norm for Grand Thumb to do, but it was a great video if you guys watched it. Jacob Howes, what rifles are you both running for your upcoming 3-gun competition?
Mine's kind of it's not really it's a little bit of everything. I'm trying to think of what it's even on it. Give me a minute and I'll try to remember what I got in that thing.
Okay, so what I'm going to be shooting is a rifle that I actually won when I won the Snipers Unknown. I actually used that same rifle in 2018 and won 3-Gun Nation Nationals. The only difference is I've changed the trigger out to a Trigger Tech Diamond AR, and I was running the Hyperfire. And I like the Hyperfire trigger, but I just want to try this Diamond in it. I've never used the Diamond in 3-gun competition. The difference is the Diamond is a 2-stage, whereas the Hyperfire is not. It's a single stage. And I don't know how that's going to do on double taps. I'm going to go test it out. I've still got a couple weeks to do it. And other than that, it is a Veltor built rifle. It was Veltor with a Roscoe purebred barrel, 18-inch. I don't care if it's 3-gun. I don't need a 16-inch barrel. I'll go ahead and take the 18-inch. Now I do know that down at Frostproof, it's mostly base stages. I think there's 2 places to shoot out to 400 yards. So you don't need a long barrel, but I'm used to it. So that's what I'm going to be running.
Yeah, I'm running a Frankenstein. Basically got a Geisley handguard. I have a 17.5 inch or 17?
17
I think
and a half.
Yeah, it's 17.5. Running a Geisley trigger, and then I'm running the SIG. It's the carbon fiber buttstock. The SIG that makes that knockoff of the basically Black Beauty.
No, they make them for SIG, right? They make them for SIG.
So it's got a carbon fiber stock on it. And then what else is in that thing? I think I'm running a Vortex. Actually, I might run a red dot this competition. I'm not officially sure yet. It's a 1-8 Strike Eagle by Vortex. And what else is on that? The lower I think is a Sun Devil. I can't remember. It's just basically a rifle that we had thrown together years back. Shoots well, and I'm not officially sure what else is on that thing, but that I'll be running the Infinity, and then I'll be running my Benelli M2 for a shotty, for a boomstick. I don't know what. Oh, we're talking range laser.
All right, so I got a question about rangefinders, and this is Joey. Hold on, let me try to click on it.
Joey Bender.
Joey Bender. Okay, so I had been running a Loophole for years. This was a 1000 TBR. It's an old school one. It has angle, inclination, everything else. but you will be really hard pressed. Okay, it says 1,000. You're going to be hard pressed to hit any target with any reflectivity beyond 600 yards with this. I have loaned this out at almost every match that I've been to because guys couldn't hit their targets inside of 400 or 500 yards. They were like, I can't get a distance on it. So a couple years ago, I switched to Leica, and one of the first ones I got was the Rangemaster. Now this is an older one. It's a 2700B. And then I do some beta testing for Leica, and they sent me one of the ones. It was the 12. I think it was the 1800.com. I think they have one higher now. And it actually links with your Kestrel. So when you have your Kestrel Bluetooth to your Leicas, you can actually get your holds as soon as you hit the target. But I also use the Leica. These are these get used more than anything else. These are the HDBs. Sorry, I have a lens cap on this one. This one's excellent. I get reflectivity on pretty much anything out to realistically 2,000 yards. Yeah. And it's going to cost, though. That's the thing. So for me, I'm going to recommend something that works most of the time. I mean, we're not going to go out and, buy anything crazy because they get really expensive.
Those things, just so you guys know, we use them, I don't know, 20 times today. And then pretty much every day we're using them for something.
Okay, I'm going to try to get caught up. Give me just a second.
But they work well. It's got a nice, basically you hit the indicator, and instead of it being a dot, this is a square. You put the square on the object and bam. Ray, are you a man of your word? What's up, Channel Cat?
What's up, Channel Cat?
What does that mean?
I don't know what it means, but I can answer it. I am usually a man of my word. If I say something or if I know it, I'm never going to guess at something. I either know it or I don't. If I don't, I will tell you I don't. So I'd like to know where this question is leading to. But either way, yes, I consider myself a man of my word.
Rick, how are the legs feeling after your training session yesterday? That was yesterday. And they're good, but usually I get sore the second day, so we'll find out. Ask me tomorrow.
All right, let me keep catching up on this.
Recommendations.
Okay, so this is a good one. Have you considered looking at a proof research barrel? I don't know what the Krieger's going to cost, but I know you can get a steel. You don't have to go with the carbon wrap or anything, but I'm very, very impressed with Proof Research. I have a lot of their barrels. I do not get those for free, and I've never seen one that didn't shoot well.
Well, actually, you have that stainless one right there. That shoots.
Yeah, believe it or not, after we did our chat the other night, a lot of guys commented about that Bushnell spotter scope and have picked them up. Yeah, they are good. And like I said, I don't get any proceeds from them or anything like that, but that is a great spotting scope.
Awesome spotting scope.
I'm trying to get caught up, guys. Give me just a second. Oh, Otter, you have a great question. So what program do we use to analyze our target groups? And it's a simple little free program called Sub-MOA. Yeah. Sub-MOA. And all you do is whenever you shoot a group, you need to have something that is measurable. Yeah. So typically a 1-inch circle, a 1-inch square, because it needs to know the reference of that group size. You put in the caliber, it'll look at the diameter, and then you just mark where your locations are.
And if you don't have anything, but you got change in your pocket, you can put that on there, and then you can ask Siri what the size, what the dimension of a dime is or whatever. We actually have had to do that a couple times. Rick, Razor Gen 3, 1 to 10.
Yeah, I've already been looking at that. I'll probably end up getting one of those. Give me just a second, trying to get caught up.
I would love to have one of those, but right now 3-gun is not my favorite passion. Trying to get better at long range. Obviously, we're going to shoot the nationals and have fun doing that. But I'd rather put money into other stuff right now.
Yeah, so Ramsey Country has an old Rangemaster 1200 like that, but now he has the SIG 2200. The guys that have the SIGs love them, so that might be a good option for a rangefinder.
Well, there's a 2400. Bill R has it.
Yeah, Bill R says he has the SIG Sauer, the 2400 rangefinder, links to the Kestrel and the Garmin 701. Nice. Guys, I hear good things about those SIG Sauers. I do see a lot of them for sale as well, so I don't know if that means anything.
Brian Duchesne picked up an Athlon. Nice. Tell us more, Brian.
So, Tim Davis, do they make a rangefinder that is not a Wilcox that can mount to a Picatinny rail? thinking of putting on top of a specific Bushnell spotting scope. They did make one. Silencer Co. made one called the Radius. Those you can sometimes still find for cheap. Those actually worked very well. I think MSRP on those were about 600 when they came out, but I've been seeing them when they pop up for around 300 or so. Okay, let's see here. Am I leading the witness? I don't know what that means. Oh yeah, Channel Cat Chaser. That was for his question right there. Are you a man of your word? Let's see. Conservative Sniper Hunter. I got an email today from a gentleman that had just purchased one, and it was sub $400.
Was that on like Optics?
This one right here, Thomas says he picked it up, arrived in the mail yesterday, $360 through Expert Voice.
Nice. That's a freaking killer deal. With actions like the impact, you can get pre-fit barrels for it.
You'll have to check with the manufacturers. I know, Proof and some other guys are doing pre-fit barrels. I mean, they're even doing pre-fit barrels for the Tika now. Yep. You'll have to see that they've got one for that.
Some MOA not available on Android. Oh, really?
Oh, I'm sure we're going to video it because there's 4 YouTube channel guys that are shooting on one squad.
You're not even going to see me touch a camera. I'm going to be all
whatever
serious. I'm going to be like, don't talk to me right now. I'm loading mags. Don't talk to me right now.
All right.
Getting the stage planned in my head. Kilo 3000 BDX. Nice, man.
Okay, so guys, Ken, who's Eagle Eye Shooting, he's responding about the pre-fit barrels. He goes, you're going to need go, no-go gauges, and you need a thorough understanding on torquing your action with the pre-fit barrels. It is very, very important. And unless you have the tools, you really probably want to take it to a gunsmith.
That doesn't take 6 months.
Or longer.
Or longer.
Yeah, and the 3000. Okay, so they replaced the Leicas with the 3000s. Let's see here.
Jamie Rivera.
Ty, I don't know. It's just whenever I get time. Things have been really, really busy, lately.
Proof conviction. What?
Okay, so how far do you go in reloading for accuracy? I do not chase things down a rabbit hole.
At 500 yards, you're done.
Yeah, leave it alone. Test it at distance. Make sure that the bullet's doing what it needs to do. Make sure it's stabilized. But I don't constantly try to develop loads at all.
The big thing, though, is that maybe a lot of people know or don't know, but everybody prints a group at 100, and it might be a really nice group. But that same group, shoot another group at 500 with some different loads, and you'll actually know which one is better because there is a difference.
Okay, so those guys that don't know, Otter's actually from Iceland, and he's asking about the GPO rangefinders. I did have a chance to play with some of the GPO scopes when they first came out. I think they're German Precision Optics or something like that. I can't remember exactly.
They make good stuff, I bet.
I don't know. It was entry-level pricing, and it seems like there's a lot of companies here lately that are all using the same tubes. I don't know where the glass is coming from or whatever, but I don't have any experience with any of the rangefinders, and I cannot speak intelligently about that. All right, San Miguel, that's right. So San Miguel just picked up one of those Bushnell spotting scopes, and he paid $376 for it.
When did we do that, chat?
Chris says, what are your thoughts about gain twist rifling? I do not own anything with gain twist other than one of my pistols. Yeah, it's a high-end pistol. It does have a gain twist in it. 5R rifling, I actually had a rifle. I think it was a Microc 5R. And it shot lights out. It was a great rifle. That one actually won me a lot of things. I actually used the rifle with that barrel to win that Barrett MRAD. All right. Channel Cat. I believe I was forgotten about. I don't. What did we forget?
I have no idea.
You'll have to email me or something like that. I don't.
Channel Cat Chaser, he's a good dude. He's one.
I know he is. That's what I'm saying. He's like, man of your word. Was us?
He must have been drinking.
I don't know if I was supposed to send him something or I don't know. Hold on. Let's see here.
Let us know more, Channel Cat Chaser. Or send him an email or something. Where do y'all shoot your precision?
All right, so
cornfield, a beautiful, beautiful cornfield.
So Taylor, I don't know what part of North Carolina you're in. If you are near Charlotte, the closest range. No, actually, there's quite a few now. There's one. Oh, geez, hold on. This one right here. Okay, Coleman's Creek is about an hour. It's about an hour north of Concord, North Carolina, that way, and they are now open to the public and selling memberships, and they have ranges all the way out to like a mile. You also have Clinton House Plantation, which is in South Carolina and Clinton. That'll take you about an hour and 15 or so. And then if you're on the middle part of the state, you have Old Fort, which is 700 yards. There's also another one that's going towards Monroe. Oh, what's his name? Todd Resource Management is just outside of Monroe. I believe he has 700 now or something like that. So that's all I can think of off the top of my head.
That's where we shot the DMM, right, Todd's?
Yes.
Mr. Little.
All right, trying to get caught up. Yeah, Channel Cat, you're going to have to refresh my memory. I don't know. I must have said I was going to cover something. All right, Taylor, if you're in Charlotte, I know a lot of people from Charlotte join the Clinton House.
Great place.
Okay, so Channel Cat, yeah, if you'll just send me that by email, it's thexringchannel@gmail.com. Not familiar with the Horus weather meter. All I've got is the Kestrel, the 5700 Elite, and I don't know, I never messed with it.
Firing solutions for the Tremor 3.
Yeah, that's it. Okay, so frontline defense. I do remember that. Yeah, that's another one as well. I'm trying to click on it. It's not wanting to let me click. There you go, Taylor. There's Taylor, there's also another one, but it's in Western North Carolina, and it's Big Ivy. Big Ivy has been saying they're going to do 1,000 yards. They have 600 now.
Wilkesboro.
Yeah, Hawks Ridge in Wilkesboro. That's another one that I've heard of. Yeah, so what you're starting to see is a ton of long-range places come into effect. I mean, they're popping up everywhere.
I think the love for long range is really starting to catch a lot of people too.
Yeah, it is.
If the pulse molds doesn't make it go faster.
No, it doesn't make them go faster. I mean, it might, but it's going to be.
You'll never
it's
notice.
Coleman's Creek. Okay, Coleman's Creek was actually closed to the general public. It was just for military and police. They have a covered 1,200-yard range and a ton of other places to shoot on their facility. They just opened it up to memberships, I think, a couple weeks ago, and I think they offer family memberships there as well. All right. All right, so I really like the Lab Radar. I think it's worth it. And then for me, I'll tell you where I use it the most, and this is something that you need to consider. Let's say, okay, so if I'm teaching a class and it's precision rifle class, and I have 2 students, I'll try to pair them up with the same weight bullet that they're shooting. So if I can put the Lab Radar here in the middle, this guy can shoot, we can get his velocity, this guy can shoot and get his velocity, and you just alternate. So as long as they're shooting the same weight bullet, I can get their velocities pretty quickly, and it just makes it nice.
Kathleen, pretty much one step above. You guys ever shoot a match at Vapor Trail?
And Vapor Trail in Montana.
Ooh, Montana. Yeah. That's getting closer to my
Missouri.
Missouri?
Montana. All right, so guys, I don't know what other questions you guys have. Like I said, I just wanted to talk about some things on the chassis and everything else. You know, I will tell you, it was a little humbling today. You know,
so you got your butt kicked by me 3 times?
Yeah, exactly. Having a Ruger American Predator and having a Ruger American Hunter, that was essentially hitting the same targets we were hitting. Were they hitting them with the amount of frequency? No. But they were hitting those targets. And when they weren't hitting, they were just slightly off.
Yeah. Half inch.
And, you know, when you look at a rifle like that, Missouri. Let's say the guy's got, 1,000. Yes, I was thinking Missouri. $1,000 or $2,000 in it, and you're comparing it to some of these other higher end rifles. it kind of puts things in perspective.
That looks like you touched a hot suppressor like you did today.
Oh man, I burned the crap out of my hand today. Anyway, let's see here.
I hear, oh my gosh, a little bit different than that. I don't know.
Bill R, I don't have any experience with this. If Eagle Eye is on here, he might be able to chime in on that. I've been asked this a couple times about the stable. 6.5 powder.
Managee gun range.
Okay, so Otter says it was amazing to see you guys shooting a shotgun with a 20 to 21 capacity. No, those shotguns only hold 12 plus 1. That's how fast you're reloading it when you're doing that quad load. So, that was something I wanted to cover. I mean, you guys that follow the chat, you know that I do other stuff other than precision rifle, but there's a whole different side where the 3-gun, I mean, most of these trophies are from 3-gun championships.
What year?
Well, half and half anyway. 2018.
2018.
Yeah, national champion.
National champion for 3-gun.
So, just trying to introduce it to the channel, but at the same time, it doesn't get a lot of traction.
There's love for 3-gun is there and long range. It's just a lot of you guys that are just subscribing to this channel recently, maybe, have only seen the precision side of things because that's what we've been hitting up on right now.
All right, so yeah.
Yep.
The pistol is 21 rounds. Typically, when you have 100, I can touch a magazine, right?
Who knows? YouTube's stupid.
Okay, guys. So in a 2011, 140 millimeter magazine is this length. But depending on the division you're in, if you were shooting in, let's say, open division, you can shoot. Now these are 9mm mags. The bottom one is 170 millimeter length.
30 in there.
So what they'll do is they will limit the length of the magazine, and they have very specifics on where you measure from.
Yeah. And that's for mostly the open class guys because less reloads is a faster time, and you can carry as many as you can. Is anyone the lead load?
Yeah, Ramsey Country, this is absolutely true. The best shooters at the range will beat 95% of the shooters with any run-of-the-mill rifle, and that is 100% correct. They already have the ability to read wind. They know their trigger discipline. It's just like,
Oh, there's Brooks.
Brooks Harvey.
Brooks, I got a video coming out for you. I mean, it's for everybody on YouTube, but you asked all those questions. Bryson was lucky enough to let us borrow the rifle, and we did some shooting at 100. We went to 731, and the reason why we're BSing right now is because of that rifle, because of you. So
yeah, with the MPA back
I got a good video coming out for you.
So short action versus long action. The biggest thing is do you have something that's a multi-caliber where you can switch a barrel out? Otherwise, you're going to be working that bolt a whole lot further in a long action. It's like with Rick shooting the RPR, he took the little bolt out and it was just going way back.
I kept getting cases in that. There was an extra inch.
Yeah, I mean, there's one part of me that wishes this AI would have been the long action so that I could, if I wanted to, throw a 338 in there and shoot that, or, 300 Win mag, whatever. But at the other time, I don't have to deal with bolt changes or anything like that. It is what it is. I've got plenty of versatility with the 6.5 or a 308 or a 243 or 6mm, anything like that. But Ramsey Country, you're right. Let me continue on this. So we talked about you can take a great shooter and put him on any rifle. He's going to do really, really well. And that is true. Same thing with pistols. Yeah. A lot of people talk about high points and how bad they are. I actually did shoot a match one time with a high point as a bet. And I think I won the match. But it was not easy. Okay. It was very difficult to do. But it's ultimately going to come down to the Indian, not the arrow. I'm not saying I could do that all the time, but anyway, Sam Miguel, I did read most of your video, but I was out in the field today and I didn't have a chance to answer, but I did want to answer
you read his video?
His email. Sorry.
I'm sorry. Anytime I can bust you up,
I know it. You're good at that.
Well, that's because you show every one of my misses and no hits. So
all right. They just released data for 6.5 stable for a bunch of rounds. They even gave some love for the 220 Swift. There you go. Let's see here. Trying to catch up. Thanks, James. We appreciate it.
I appreciate it, James. You're a subscriber. Do you go live on certain days of the week? Yeah, usually Monday through Sunday. No, Ray does it probably a couple times a month.
Yeah, so Makev, here's the answer to that question. It's $500 a year. I know Clinton House is $400 a year. It's in Ellerby, North Carolina. And I think that's about an hour away from Concord area.
We're gonna try, Casey.
Casey, with 4 YouTubers on the same squad, I am sure we will get all the video.
Yeah, we'll get something.
Brooks Harvey says thanks.
Oh, you're welcome, Brooks.
Brian Duchesne.
Give me a couple days.
Okay, so did we run the KYL at 300 today? The Mirage was so bad today when we first got out there. We actually got out there really early. You couldn't even see the targets. That's how bad it was. We were shooting off the ground. This is a cornfield, and they had just tilled it. And the way that it was with the Mirage, you could see hardly anything.
What's
that started lifting.
Nitrate? What's on that?
Zinc.
Zinc is almost the same color as that, basically
as the backstop.
So it was very tough to see. And then all you saw was this. Actually, all you saw was this.
So what we'll do is we're going to take that shooting target 7, no KYL, and we'll shoot that at VOD probably this weekend.
It was fun though, but it was tough. Is short action considered better for accuracy?
I wouldn't say that. I mean, there's less throw and everything else, but I wouldn't just go across the board and say that.
Conservative sniper. I don't use a GoPro. I did in the past when I first started YouTube, and I just at the time, this was 8 years ago now. You couldn't download it to your phone, so you had to take the chip out. You had to use it in the computer. It was a pain in the ass, and so I got away from the GoPro. But now the GoPros, like Ray has one that we use for putting at the targets. That just downloads onto his phone. Actually, I need to grab that too. Some of that.
Yeah, Mr. Lovell, if you watch KB32, I think he reviewed one of the 300 hammers. Let me see here.
Excuses.
Probably won't be going down that rabbit hole.
Where are you going? Oh.
Yeah, exactly. I'm probably not going to be messing with the GT. Matter of fact, I'm going to go ahead and be straight up with you guys. I'm really liking the 6mm Creedmoor, but I don't know that I like it that much more than the 6.5 Creedmoor. The 6mm has been fun. I've enjoyed shooting it. I'm not saying I'm not going to shoot it, but in full value, high winds, it definitely pushes a little more. It definitely does.
I think my bullet flew a little better than yours today.
Okay, so I'm going to answer this question here. This is a great question by JKRPR. Do you think your Roscoe barrel is more accurate than a JP Enterprises barrel? I'm wanting the most accurate barrel for my Barrett Recce 7. Look, the guys over at Roscoe are super good guys, and they make an unbelievable barrel. They do. When you get into the purebred, they do like a bloodline purebred. They do a whole different series. I know those guys really well. I like the JP barrels. I know the JP barrels shoot my 69 grain Defender load. If you guys don't know, Defender is a huge supporter of the channel, and they're great people to deal with. I'm going to have to give it to the JP. I really am. And, you know, I'm only basing that on groups that I've shot with them. The Roscoe shoots great groups, but I think the JP is just a little better. You know, because you just shot it the other day.
It was awesome.
And it was just tiny.
It was a smaller dime all day long.
All right.
Luke. I think it was Luke.
Yeah, so like I said, I'm glad I have the 6mm. We'll see what happens. I loaded up like 80 rounds the other night, and I think today I burned through about 60 of them.
Did you really?
No, TB, the 6mm wasn't a fad. It definitely has its advantages as far as recoil management and getting back on target. I could see it if you're in a really odd position. But from what I've seen is a lot of these longer range matches, you're not pushing bullets out at, 11, 1,200 yards. Even if you go out west and you're shooting like in a competition dynamics match, your furthest target's only going to be about 900 yards. and it really depends on the wind. I'm almost wanting to know if I should just load the 6.5 more up a little heavier or her. And, if I do take that shot at 900 yards, we were making hits out there year before last at 900 plus yards with the 6.5 Creedmoor without any issues. I just don't know how the 6mm is going to do.
We probably had full value 10-mile-an-hour winds today.
Okay, Brian Deshane says the Roscoe is better with the heavies. Okay, there is truth to that. That is something that I've noticed. My JPs that I've had don't like the 77s, but neither do my proofs. They'll shoot okay, but they're not going to shoot lights out. When I shot the DMR match, when I won that match, I was actually shooting the Roscoe with 77 grainers, and the reason I chose that is because it shot the heavier bullets a little better. So it depends on the application of how far you're shooting, what length barrel, and everything else. So like I said, I don't want to say anything bad about the Roscoes because they're super. And they make barrels for a lot of manufacturers, some big name manufacturers. So thanks for
the comment.
Yeah.
The bolt.
Yeah, so Ramsey Country says bolt flex. The bolt doesn't hold the case from moving backwards. And that's exactly right. It's the locking lugs that go inside and actually lock. So the bolt flex, that's why I couldn't say across the board, that a long action is going to be less accurate than a short action. Yeah, you do have a shorter piece of metal, but remember, you're still indexing off of that bolt lug, the locking lugs.
Good answer.
Okay, so conservative sniper hunter. The whole reason I was chasing all this, I was checking on a 10-mile-an-hour full value wind and comparing the 6.5 Creedmoor 147 grain to the 6mm Creedmoor at 1,000 yards. And I knew I had to get over 3,000 feet per second, which I did. I'm at 3050 now with this load that I've got, but I'm still seeing about a 1/10 more drift than the 6.5 Creedmoor. And that's also true at about 700. So it's like, yeah, I've got a little more wind drift to contend with, but I've got less recoil, and man, the thing shoots so soft.
Decisions.
Yeah, that's exactly right, and that's what I stated a minute ago. It depends on what cartridge you're shooting. If you're trying to shoot, a 300 Win Mag or something, you're going to have a long action, and then your short action caliber is going to be like the 6.5 and everything else.
Otter asked a question, but I couldn't figure it out.
Okay, I can't answer this. I don't know. This is a question for Ramsey or for Eagle Eye.
Eagle Eye.
Okay.
Or Todd Elster's Rifle and Reload.
Yeah, Todd, if you're still in here, or if anybody in the show can answer this, answer it, because I don't know the answer to this. Let's see. We're going to do a drum roll. If somebody's got to answer Otter's question there, if you know it. And see, San Miguel says 6mm is go-to winner for less recoil. Yes, it definitely has it in the recoil department. No doubt about it.
I was trying to say.
Ramsey Country says Otter, yes.
There you go.
There's the answer to that.
I have nothing. Can't fix this.
Matt Cross,
What's
great
up,
question, but
what up and coming industry technology keeping it?
it seems like there's a lot going on with cartridge cases. Dealing with polymers, dealing with bimetals, things like that. I think that's what you're going to see. I don't know if that's going to change anything. I don't know. That's the only thing that I'm noticing.
What's your favorite break for 6.5 Greenville?
Don't have one yet. Like I said, right now I'm just entering that world of that 6.5 Grendel with that one, so I don't have a favorite. That's a huge cat costume. I don't know where a cat is.
Cat costume.
All right, John. The accuracy of your threads on your jaws all depend on the dies in the threads and how they were cut. One can be different from the other. What is up, Pleiades?
How you doing, 555?
All right, guys. So we're at an hour mark. Like I said, just wanted to touch base with you guys because it got me thinking about some of the questions. I also get, let me go ahead and answer this right off the bat. I get a lot of questions about what kind of level am I using? And it is the LRA level by Long Range Arms. What kind of, yeah, don't turn it on though. Just slide it off. LRA digital level by Long Range Arms. It does. This one does have a spirit level on it as well. So if your battery goes dead, you still have a backup. To change the battery, you just pull it apart, and you can access the battery compartment using an in-style battery. So I get a ton of questions about this. I also get a ton of questions about. No. Yeah, go ahead. It looks like RA, but it's LRA, Long Range Arms. The other question is the data card holder that I use, and it is made by a company called Hawk Hill Customs. Hawk like the bird, hill as in a mountaintop, and customs. So Hawk Hill Customs, they are very proud of these. They're about 100 and some change, $120. And you can put your data cards on there, and it folds, it flips, it moves upwards and downwards, it slices, it dices, and Ginsu twos you.
Ginsu twos you?
Yeah, there you go. Long range arms, 165-ish, depends on the model. They make some with the spirit level and some without, so it can get up higher than that.
165, I believe, is just the one without the bubble level.
All right, there you go. Do not know anything about the Bull Armory SAS2.
That's not that pistol, right? That Rob's shooting? Bull Armory?
Yeah, he's shooting a Bull Armory. Kathleen, I've been shooting infinity pistols for quite a while now. This is about my fourth one. The problem is if you want one, you're going to have to wait a long time, and it doesn't really matter who you are. If you want one, you have to put $1,000 deposit just to get the process started, and you will probably see the rifle or the pistol about 14 or 15 months later. That varies depending on their load. But if you're wanting what I consider
the happiest person ever,
the best of the best, they're going to range anywhere from realistically 5,000 to about 7,000 or 11,000. There's a buddy local to me that's got a couple different barrels and whatnot, and I think his package was about 11,000 by the time it was all said and done. That's a lot for a pistol, it really is. The Akai, Shea Akai down in Florida, he does build a good custom gun, he really does, but you got to remember, he is putting stuff together, whereas Infinity, SVI, Strayer Voight, not STI, they're machining everything, hand fitting everything. It is top notch.
Coach, the 22-250 is a good shooting flat varmint rifle. I don't know what you're trying to do with it.
Yeah, it's really more for varmint hunting, I would think. It goes really fast. It is a barrel burner.
Smoking fast and flat.
So Luke, the Thunder Beasts, from what I've seen, comparing it to other suppressors that I've shot, and I have access to a lot of suppressors. It just seems you have no idea.
Everyone,
the Thunder Beasts just seem to have the least point of impact shift. When you put them on, they're repeatable. I can take it off, put it back on. It's not changing anything. Just the construction's good. They are titanium. They're a little pricier, but it is one of the most popular, I believe, precision rifle suppressors there is. That's all I can say about that. And plus, the guys are super great. Ray and Zach and Sean, those guys are super, super good guys out of Wyoming, Cheyenne. Cheyenne. Let's see what else. Oh, dang, Brooks. Man, thanks. Appreciate it. All right, let me see. All right, we'll see you, Watch Guy. I watched what?
I watched what?
San Miguel says, kill me soon. I don't get it. Oh, geez, yes.
Stop watching GT Firearms content. Yeah.
So, Brooks, I'm kind of, this is going to be a tough one for me to answer because back in the day, I was running nothing but like MTU or like the AMU contour barrels. And we're talking about, barrels that are 1 inch thick. at the muzzle. Okay, something like this. And I like them, but man, they are heavy. And so when I started doing more of these ruck matches and whatnot, I was like, man, do I need that? You know, do I need that big, thick barrel? You know, you've got this Tikka here, which for all intent and purposes, that's what I consider a thin barrel. Okay, hold on for just a second. It's not a hunting barrel, but
You can't.
I'm not gonna touch it. I'm not gonna touch it. Okay, so the barrel on the Tikka, I'm gonna take a set of verniers. We're not gonna touch it. You just block the camera for a second. With paint is 0.79 inches. Okay, 0.79 inches. The
With paint.
with paint.
That's not paint.
That's Krylon.
That's magic.
The accuracy comes in at
What are you-
0.91. 0.91. Okay.
Man, you're really
All right,
gonna
cover
try
it
to blow this shit up, aren't you?
The MPA is at 0.92. Hold on just a second.
That one you can keep over there. Oh, that one you can actually put.
And a factory AI barrel comes in at 0.91. So these are still skinnier than that MTU, which was 1 inch thick. And when you start adding all of that down through here, especially depending on your taper that you got on there, you can end up with a very, I mean, this is heavy right here.
It's 2 more pounds.
Yeah, you're looking at a couple pounds. So I think these are plenty good enough. I think the Tikka kind of proves that. And this is the thinnest one out here. Don't hit me with that. All right, let's see here. Let me get caught up.
I practiced at 50 yards with my standard sig.
Yeah, so Gun Hiker says he shoots his 45 out at 50 yards. We do that all the time. When I first met Rick, Rick didn't do a lot of long distance pistol shooting. And
It'll make you a great.
the more he shot with me, the easier it becomes when you shoot longer distance with that
someone
pistol.
Say, hey, let's shoot the plate rack. You're like, okay. And then they keep walking closer. You're like, oh man, this is gonna be easy.
Yeah, so Ramsey Country, heavy, less recoil, light, easier to maneuver.
Yep.
There's a lot in that statement. You know, big shout out to Ramsey. He's got a lot of really good information. You know, sometimes you can hear the same thing from two different people, but the way that some person articulates it can make that difference where it makes that click. But that's exactly what I found is you get the stability out of like the MPA or out of the accuracy, but moving from position to position can be a little tougher to manage because they are so heavy.
Well, a perfect example today was the Ruger Americans.
Oh man!
So we put some rounds through those again, and they shot great, but they recoiled. You definitely felt the recoil compared to these heavier rifles. A24-7.
Oh, let me see.
Gets better all the time, Brian
Yeah.
Gunner says. Brian Gunner, though, the question is, how many thumbs ups do we have?
Okay, so Luke, great question. He says, I'm guessing you mainly use direct thread instead of QD mounts in your suppressors. Depends on the application. And this right here is the CB brake, but it's also the mount for the Thunder Beast. Now, the problem is, and I'm going to be honest with everyone like I always am,
It's not the greatest brake.
It's okay for a brake, but it is not going to be like this 4-chamber MPA over here.
This will clean tables.
Yeah, his will clean tables. Now, if you look at this, you're going to see that it has a shoulder on it with a little taper. This is what's going to center up your suppressor. Hold on for just a second while we grab one.
Excuse me while I
hold on just a moment.
So you see the bevels in the...
Yeah, so the shoulder there is what's going to index this properly. So I do not use a direct thread.
And then it centers on itself.
Yep, it self-centers. But you do need to check this, not regularly, but you do need to check it because it can start walking itself off. You know, you've got Silencer Co. with, hold on for just a second.
Uh-oh.
Go ahead.
That means the internet's going to get really bad because we're talking about suppressors again. These are great suppressors. This one is actually in 30 millimeter. This one's mine. It's not officially mine yet because the paperwork hasn't been completed, so Ray has it in jail for me, but I get a chance to use this every once in a while, and it is amazing. I kind of wish I would have went 6.5 Creedmoor now, though, because of all the shooting I do with the 6.5 Creedmoor. but I'm glad that I have at least this. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, so all the different suppressor manufacturers have different setups. This is a Silencer Co. And once you screw this on, you can put a direct thread on here. But if you look right here, we can just grab this collar and we can rotate it. And when we do, that locks on. It will never walk off because it's locked on. They're not the only ones. You know, Surefire has their system, which I believe the Surefire system's great. But, and I hope no one from Surefire is watching, they make one of the most robust, indestructible cans in the world. But they're horrible for sound reduction. They are all loud. Hate them.
You just want to have a can to look cool.
Well, no, they're effective. They're effective, but they're louder than comparable cans. You know, Team Area 419 just released their Maverick, and I haven't had a chance to get my hands on it. But I'll tell you what, these Thunder Beasts are impressive. Yeah, Doug Lewis says a 24-inch number 7 contour is no lightweight. Absolutely. Yeah, San Miguel Thunder Beast Arms is the name of the company. Thunder Beast Arms. They have the Ultra 5s, the Ultra 7s, Ultra 9s, and the Ultra 338, along with the 22 takedown, 5.56 takedown.
Yep. Actually, their 22 takedown is an awesome suppressor as well. There's only one we found so far.
I'm not going to say I like them. I approve of them. I think the Mark 5s are good. I do not like the older Mark 8s. Horrible scopes, even though they were some of the most expensive at the time. Okay, so the SOCOM 5.56 RC2, I was just playing with one this afternoon. You know, good cans, good solid cans, but, you know, their purpose, I think, is a little different. You're talking about higher rate of, we're not talking about AR cans, we're talking about precision rifle cans, but the SOCOM is a great can. Like I said, hard use.
3-lug. What's up, Odamas?
Okay, 3-lug is the most used I have seen. If you're talking about a 3-lug mount, or you're talking about 3-lug on a bolt?
I don't know.
All right.
Casey, focus.
There you go.
Most people don't believe they can.
Yeah, San Miguel agrees. He has a Surefire can. He has the RC2, and they're horrible. They are typically the loudest on the range. And this doesn't matter if I'm just talking about rifle or if I'm talking about pistol. Pistol, like the Riders. Okay, when they came out with the Rider TI or the Rider TIM, they're just loud cans. we are filming a computer screen of a previous show and live streaming it.
Yeah, let me show you something.
Hold on.
This is actually all green screen, like they said. Is that what they said?
All right, so you must have just joined in. So interested in that Tikka. Any thoughts on a Masterpiece Arms production rifle versus the Tikka or a lesser Savage Elite?
Watch some.
Well, this isn't a production. That's not a production Masterpiece.
Oh.
Yeah. I don't know. It's hard. It's hard to beat
either
one of them.
If you guys want to send us some rifles review.
Ryan says he can't hit a barn if he's standing inside of it. You'd be amazed at what you could do, Orion.
Yeah, Orion, I think you can, my friend. I think you can. Try to pug mount.
Do I consider Remington heavy barrels thick, too thick and heavy? No, I don't. I don't think that a heavy barrel Remington is that heavy unless you're talking about like an M24, the old M24 system. That was a military rifle, sniper rifle. It was way back in the day, but those are thick barrels. But most of your other heavy barrels are really light compared to these. Yeah, so Luke, if he's talking about a tri-lug mount on a suppressor, yeah, I mean, it's a great system. You're going to see them mostly on HKs. You're starting to see them on other things right now, but very, very innovative. You know, I reviewed a CGS. Oh, what was the name of that? Geez, I got a couple of them. It's the 9mm. Anyway, I reviewed one of those on a tri-lug on an H&K. It's just quick, easy, it's fast. Love it. Allen Engineering Suppressors. Don't know anything about them.
No.
Okay, so Idaho Rogers. All right, here we go. If you could only buy one for any caliber and any use,
how many times have you heard that?
It's going to be this one. This is going to be the Silencer Co. Hybrid. Is it good at any of them? No, but it'll do them about all of them. Okay, you can throw it on a pistol. It'll do
It is
everything up to a 45,
heavy.
70 government.
Let me see this thing.
Yeah, there's no comparison.
No
You
comparison.
can't take the baffles out of this. It is super heavy. But the
But-
reason I got it is because you can put it on anything.
Anything.
Anything you want, man. So yeah, it's you put this on a 300 blackout, it's actually a little loud, and you can change the caps, the end caps,
It was loud.
and you have a direct thread mount for it. It comes with big tools
Yep.
and everything else. But
How
that
much
would
are
be
the
the one
How
kit.
much are the end caps?
So you can do everything except for 50.
You can do everything, but suppress noise real well.
Yeah, 45, 70 government. So yeah, anything 45 and under. That would be the one dual suppressor.
And your drop is about 3 inches.
All right, hold on.
Thought you might eventually.
Oh, I'm trying to get caught up. Hold on. Let's see here. Thanks, A Dizon. I appreciate you guys watching, especially from California. I got some friends out that way.
He used to be
Yes.
from Temecula.
Chris Smith, I actually have. Area 419, they make a great muzzle brake. The Hellfire system, I actually had one that I reviewed on the Manners on the Stiller Action. I normally have it in the safe. I took it out, but I think it's a great system. The way it indexes, you just lock that collar around
They're
it.
actually making one now for this.
Yes, they are.
That integrates, so you can. And I'm actually looking into getting one of those. It'll be a little while, but I want a better muzzle brake.
All right, let me get caught up.
I want to be able to be like Bryson and blow anything and everything off the table when you shoot from the
Yeah.
hip.
So OSS suppressors. I like those guys, friends with those guys. They do make a really good suppressor. It is not the quietest, but what it does, it mitigates a lot of the blowback. It's got the flow-through technology, which you're seeing a lot of on suppressors now. And it does make a difference. It really does. And, I'll tell you, just because you're shooting a piston AR doesn't mean you're not going to get any blowback. You will still get some blowback out of even your best suppressors. Let me keep going. Yeah, A Design, I agree with you. Can't go wrong with that Tika.
I love the Tika, man. It's getting some battle-worn scars, too. It's looking good.
All right, let me see here. Comment on Bergara. I've never owned one. I have shot them. I have friends with Bergaras, and they are all happy with them. They love them to death.
Yeah, Pilot's waiting on his.
Tika Tac or Bad Rock South Fork? Not familiar with the Bad Rock. All right, Casey Duncan with $1 million question. Let's see here.
$1 million question. Drum roll, please.
Okay, so guys, well, I can't grab it, but you guys know that the Christensen MPR, I reviewed that. I've got it sitting right here. That is a great rifle. It's very lightweight. I think for hunting, I mean, the base rifle is just a little over 6 pounds. It's all carbon fiber.
It is so light.
It is one of the lightest rifles that I think, hunting rifles. It's an awesome rifle.
If you had to hike in the mountains of Montana, Wyoming, anywhere basically, and have to strap that rifle on your back for a few miles, maybe looking for some big elk or whatever, I would so take that over any of these.
And so, guys, that Christensen, I mean, it continues to amaze me because it is such a lightweight rifle, but you can throw a trigger tech in there. It already has one in it. But there's something to be said for that. I'm not saying I'm just diehard Tika. I don't even own one. However, looking at Rick's rifle, I don't know what kind of modifications he can do to that. I don't know if he wants to throw in another trigger, if he can. The trigger's not bad. It's a 2-stage trigger.
I love it.
Kind of feels like the AI, but if you wanted to go with a single stage on that Christensen, you can throw in a trigger tech or whatever else, Remington 700 based action, and it'd be good to go.
Single-stage trigger on a rifle for that matter.
But I like the Christensen. I like the Remington PCR that I shot.
I'll take the recoil on this over any lighter rifle.
All right, let me get caught up.
Remington, or the Ruger American that's another great rifle I'd hunt the mountains with. And figure if you're going to hunt, you're only going to shoot maybe 2 shots if you're doing well.
All right, so the Loophole Mark V, Okay, so I'm not a huge power guy. Okay, it is nice to have, 7 to 35, 5 to 25, 4.5 to 27. It's nice to have it because you have the option of using it, but almost all the shooting we did today was at 15 and under.
I was at 8.
Yeah, he
No,
went. Yeah,
maybe 9.
yeah. The Mirage was so bad today,
Actually-
we really couldn't go much more than about 10 power. As far as reticle,
It was at 8.
As far as reticle, go with what suits your needs. Okay, so the Trimmer 3, I like it for what I'm using it for, but it is busy. And so, there are a lot of really good options out there on reticles. The reticle that's in this Mark IV M5 loopholed,
Not touching.
it's not the most intuitive reticle. Okay, it's just a whole bunch of grid lines, and that's about it.
I noticed that.
Yeah, sometimes you can get lost in it.
At first, I went there because there's lines above. I don't even know how to call it. You have your crosshairs, but then there's lines up here, and I'm like, is this 0 or is this 0? But
all right, guys, we're at a
what's up, Alaskan Andy 1 or 1 Andy? I have a fluted pencil barrel. I wanted to use my suppressor.
Yeah, so Luke, anytime you touch your barrel or you put something on it, you're gonna be disrupting those harmonics. You throw a suppressor on one of these big heavy barrels, you don't notice a whole lot. I mean, the difference in my rifle or even Rick's Tika, when he throws the Thunder Beast on it, it only moves at 0.3 of a mil to the right. Actually, exactly 0.3 to the right. You start throwing a suppressor on some of these pencil barrels, not only is it going to be really low. I actually reviewed a rifle.
We did it with this one.
Oh man, we put one on it the other day. It made it 7 inches low.
Yeah, it was
7 inches. So yeah, probably on a lightweight fluted, probably not the best.
Sorry.
All right, let's see here.
You already gave your thoughts.
I'm just trying to get caught up. Don't want to leave anybody hanging. Guys, I've got to get out of here, but I do appreciate everybody watching and joining. I was trying to answer a lot of you guys' questions. I always try anytime I get on here. For hunting, okay, I do want to touch on this. Bill R makes a good point. A simple reticle for hunting, that's all you need. A little bit of illumination. If it starts to get a little darker on you in a shaded area, that's all you really need. Keep it simple for hunting, unless you're doing long-range hunting. And then in that case, you probably want something that has some type of drop in it or something like that, or at least a scope with external turrets. But guys, I'm going to say good night. Thank you once again for watching. If you haven't checked out Rick's channel, go check him out. Like I said,
check out Is Your Six Covered.
Trying to share the knowledge collectively.
It's
a really strong group, and I appreciate everyone else that contributes to the channel. You guys have a great evening.
Awesome. Take care. Stay safe out there.
Oh, hold up. I'm going to give a hat away. All right, hold on. I don't sell these. Pick a time. Pick any time.
Look, I'm not touching the screen. I'm going to go with, how long have we been talking? 11:52. 10:45.
All right.
Let's go see who the winner is.
So, guys, I don't sell these hats. Never have.
Get your damn hat.
Because I have to charge too much for them.
1042.
They are Richardson hats.
I said 1042, right?
He called out of time. We're going to go to 1042.
Let's see if there is one.
And it'll be the first comment that we see at 1042.
1042.
You're taking too long.
Jeez. Oh, here we go.
That's 1142. You meant 1142.
1142.
1142. The first comment was from Idaho Rogers.
Idaho Rogers.
USMC. So if you will email me, these are brand new, guys. If you'll email me at the xringchannel@gmail.com, I will send you this hat for free. I'll even pay the shipping on it. And let's pick one more time. Closer to when we started. We'll see who's sticking around. Now, if you don't email me, you don't get it. Now, you got to give me your email address.
All right, I just posted my link to my channel, so make sure you guys get over there.
All right, pick up a time.
It's 11:53. Let's do 11:45.
11:45. Here we go. 11:45 goes to.
Wait, what's the first one?
JKRPR. That was at 11:45, so same thing. Email me at the xringchannel@gmail.com. And I will send you a hat. That right there. What a way to end the show. Thanks for joining. Hope you guys have a great week. We'll talk to you soon.
See you later, you guys and gals. One more time.